Now, does this scene look familiar? Do you see this in your homes? Can you lift your hands if this is a familiar scene, please? Can I get a show of hands, please? That's correct. So this is a familiar scene. And this is the way most of us used to shop for Christmas. We still shop quite a bit like that. But with Christmas coming, I think a lot of us will be doing a bit of this as well. How many of you plan to do this? Honestly, that's a fairly large percentage. So what really this means is the way people buy products and services have changed fundamentally. Unfortunately, 84% of our businesses don't engage these people who are looking to buy our products and services when they're looking for them, when they're researching for them. Now, this is a big problem. It's a problem for individual businesses, but it's also a problem for our nation because it impacts employment and it impacts economic development. Now, this is a fairly familiar scene. Have a look at this. It's a small retail outlet. Everything is in place. Every bottle is in place. All the fruits and vegetables are in place, beautifully organized. While this is a retail store, most of our businesses are very much like this. We spend a lot of time to get everything perfect. Unfortunately, there's only one customer. And that is a problem because we're not engaging those customers who are looking to buy. Now, unlike when a big business struggles, when a small business struggles, it impacts the business owners. It impacts their families. It impacts marriages. Now, while it's a problem for individual business owners, tens of thousands of these create huge social problems for our country as well. So that is something we need to really, really be cognizant of. Lots of businesses are going to the wall. The business on the top left is from Mossman. They closed down after 52 years. Gotta Go Camping closed down after 14 years. And Audiovisual Specialist closed down after 16 years, the Townsville business. So businesses around the country are closing down. And we know quite a few people, each of us will know people whose businesses have foreclosed or they've gone to the wall. Now, I'm not trying to paint a gloomy picture, but this is the reality. But the great news is the businesses that got it right, the 16% of small businesses who are fully digitally engaged, they are killing it. They're earning over $350,000 per annum, more than their competitors. They grow faster, and on average, they hired 2 more people. How many more people? 2 more people, right? I want you to remember that. That's why I asked, because I'll come back to it. So how do you build a strong digital presence? It's not easy. Lots of people have tried, and they have failed. But we've tried to make it as simple as possible. These are the 4 elements that we believe that are fundamentally important for a business to concentrate on. You need a credible website. I'll come to the word credible and why later. Search rankings are very, very important. Because today people are not only searching on Google, they're searching on Pinterest and all other platforms like eBay and HiPages. So people are searching in other platforms, not just Google, but Google rankings, and all these rankings are very important, and it's important to have a strategy. Australia has one of the most highest percentage of social media use in the world. And if you're not on social media and if you're not using social media, you've got to consider which platforms your customers are in, and then focus on those platforms and try to see how we can engage your clients. Again, this is not to sell, because nobody likes to be sold. It's about informing and educating. That is very important to know and to make that difference. Nobody likes to be sold, because if you're trying to sell, people will switch off. Email engagement is another very important facet of a business that you must cultivate. I'm sure businesses like High Pages do it well. It's not to spam, again, not to really sell, but to educate, inform, and engage. I won't spend too much time on all these individual areas, but I thought I will spend time on your website, because this is the foundation of your digital presence. It is important we get this right. And when you come to your website, there are two things you can take away today. It's these two words of credibility and trust. Today, when somebody visits your site, if it doesn't exude credibility, they will leave. They'll spend 3 to 8 seconds on your site. They have so many other options. People are time poor. They will leave. So we got to capture their attention. And with credibility comes trust. And if there's no trust, there's no engagement with your clients. We know this stuff because we've researched 8,700 businesses. But the main purpose of our research was to find out why 84% of our small businesses were not digitally engaged. We knew they were not stupid. They were not silly, because business owners are entrepreneurial, they're risk takers, they're chasing a dream. They've left their jobs to do this. And our research showed some really, really key information that helped us a lot when we were working on changing the course of small business through digital engagement. And they fell into one or more of 6 traps. And if they fell into any one of these traps, they could not be fully digitally engaged. And the most important of these traps was strategy. If you didn't get your strategy right, you couldn't be credible. Credibility, I said credibility and trust was important, but this is what creates that credibility. So it was important to get your strategy right. You can build a pretty website, but people will come there, but it won't convert into customers. And it's like that. I've used this saying before. It's like always the bridesmaid, never the bride. That's correct. Yes, because you don't win the customers, and the important thing is to convert customers. Now, we were talking about credibility. What do you think of this? Mr. Minister, this is not from New South Wales. You don't have to worry. This is from the UK. Now, most websites are not as bad as this. But actually, they are not much better either, a lot of them. We'll come to a few later. Now, what do you think of that? Does that have credibility? Now, this is credible. You can start a conversation here. At this stage, would you mind if I tell you a bit about NetStripes? Is it okay? No? Yes? All right. NetStripes is a tech startup. We have disrupted the way small businesses will build their digital presence forever. Through our innovations, we can help you with starting with your website to build a big business-like website with the right strategy in 2 to 4 weeks, as opposed to 2 to 6 months or longer, our research showed. But we can also do this at a third or even as low as a fifth of the price it would otherwise take a small business if they went and got this done properly at a proper agency. So these are huge innovations, but the main innovations lie in the platform's ability to do this in scale, to do it in hundreds, if not thousands. Now that's where the real innovations lie, because we can then create rapid engagement within small business. Once you've created your website, then you can plan for the digital engagement in the next 2 to 4 weeks, and that's important. I'd like to, we had Anne-Marie Cade, a single practitioner lawyer who hadn't a website for 7 years, who came and presented her legal website some time ago. This is another site she created. She calls us about a week ago to say that she's got investment on Divorce Right, which has been running for about 4 months now, and it's nearly $1 million. And she spent less than $5,000 on her website. How amazing is that? Is that good? Congratulations to Anne-Marie. She's not here, we'll tell her. Now, we showed you a credible website. That's what it looked like before. A 35-year-old business, a very credible business offline though, but online they didn't look very credible. And a lot of our businesses are like this. But today they're no more like that. It took them less than 4 weeks, or probably around 4 weeks.